going here if I do this. Welcome to grainy Gudvangen.
Oh, hello.
No, so we're live now.
We are live.
And
Currently.
luckily there's nobody else here yet, but I'm assuming they're going to come in during the time. Look at that. We got 6 people and 6 likes already.
Hello.
Hello. So this is not Viking Valley, but it is the valley. Can you call it that? Yeah.
Yep.
It's because
Tail end of the valley anyway.
that is the same waterfall up there. I'm never going to make it as a weather girl. The big waterfall there and the smaller ones in between. And the fjord is there. Yeah, I think it looks like, does that look like water to you?
That looks like clouds to me.
Oh, there's cloud and water. I have to lift it higher.
There you go.
There we got the water. And it keeps going.
Round and around.
Anyway, if you're not sick, there's light here. We are a little grainy, but at least there's some light. The village is too dark to film in, and this is a much cooler background than the white office.
Mm-hmm.
But we're thinking about that. I talked to Aylin. We can take some stuff from the store and decorate the wall for it.
Ah, perfect.
Then we won't bug anybody while they're in the store.
Perfect.
And
That
we'll
sounds
have
good.
some handmade stuff to decorate the background with. So we have some ideas for next time.
That's good.
Although, actually, I have a better idea for next weekend.
You do?
Because it's Halloween weekend.
Oh, grill house. Right.
And it'll have to be on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be at your house in Voss, which is about 30, 40 minutes from here.
Yep.
It's also quite pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Should we do is it grill house or the
It would be
or
grill
the
house.
sword collection?
For me, it doesn't matter either way. But
We could do both. It's a long Corona winter. I have to do my pop-out chat. That's why we can't see anyone talking.
Oh.
I forgot about that. See, look at that. There's actually people here. So, love, let us film in the diner. So this behind us is the Viking. It's a hotel, not the Viking diner, not to be confused with the Viking diner, but it's the hotel you can stay at here if you don't want to camp. And the restaurant with really good food.
Mm-hmm. Very good food.
They serve reindeer.
Yes. We eat Rudolph regularly.
And cappuccino, which is not very Viking. Oh, Rudolph is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I like Rudolph. There's also a souvenir shop and a bar. In case you need something a little stronger than cappuccino.
Or you want to Irish it up.
Yes. Irish it up a bit, says the British guy. The British monk.
They can be Irish if you want, but I don't think that works. Anyway.
Yeah, so we're a little grainy, but at least you can see us, and the background is way cooler than the beautiful one we had last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids are not sitting on the other side. They're cute, but every time it might be a bit much. Arlene Cross says, hello, ladies. Nice to see you.
Hello.
It's a man. Karin did an amazing job with Friends. Well, let alone. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Virginia she's got a conflicting work schedule because we've just started new hours in the gift shop and that she works at, which is between 1 and 9.
Yep.
Which kind of interferes with YouTube. So luckily he's not smart enough to realize what I'm going to put him through all winter. But you have a lot of stories.
I hope I've got enough stories. Once I've exhausted Viking, I might go into ancient Greek, but sorry.
We have to be Greek Nalbinding. We'll have to change it. No, or we could think of some. You could make up some. You could talk about. Well, I threw you under the bus with the Varangian guard last weekend, so we could always do that. That's not necessarily a story, but
here we go.
I know when you get going. I say 5 minutes. He goes 10. I'm like, yes. Okay. Karin Halak is here. Good morning. Or Karin Halak. That's right. She says her name like I do. And Torun is here. Good call. I would roll too fast. Taberna Verjantis is here. We have to say hello. Taberna Verjantis. I am going to stick his Instagram up here. Taberna _ Verjantis is my tame Polish guy. And husband and wife team. Use Carl's term tame. The Instagram and make all of my Viking stuff. are the Viking supermarket.
Yep.
So you're gonna have to look up and see what they make anyway. I also help out with his social media, so he gets a plug. And he's got ferrets
Yes.
and polar cats,
Absolutely.
and he brings them to the markets with them too. Not a polar cat. Yeah, one's a polar cat. So they say hello. Heidi Lisa is here. Your brother was supposed to be here, but he's I probably got allergies or something anyway, but he's taking it safe just to make sure because we don't want anybody sniffling around here. Julie says, good morning, story guy and twinning mom from the toasty California. Oh, thank you. I left the twins back there. They're cute, but they can be a little pumpkin overdose. Not quite Viking today. So cool for next week. Yeah. So next week we will be at your house in the grill house, I think. Oh, it is. So. It's so cute. It's like this little teeny tiny hexagon shed, and you open the door and it's not tiny anymore. It's
a TARDIS.
It's a TARDIS. I know. It's going to be so cool. Not very well. It is actually. You got a lot of Viking stuff in there. I noticed the whole Viking shop is in your house. Or he's paying our salaries, or his mother is, one of the two. Turin said she'll be attending the local Renaissance Festival next week, so I will sadly miss it. Oh, but the Ren Fest would be so good. I miss those. I haven't seen those in Norway.
Don't think they have them.
Do you have them in England?
Not exactly. We have something more akin to it, but not really like that. It's somewhere in between Renaissance Fair, or at least what I think Renaissance Fair probably is like. Don't forget, I've not been to America, so I don't know exactly.
I was wondering if it was just the United States that has Renfest, because here we have medieval markets and Viking markets, but is that the same in England then?
We have medieval for certain.
Yeah.
We have Viking. We have Civil War, as in English Civil War.
Ooh. Oh, we do have that in the part of the United States. I've never been to one, but Civil War reenactment, that'd be kind of fun.
Absolutely.
Trade your sword for a musket. Now the Ren Festival, Carl was we were talking about this yesterday. He was talking about the Renaissance fairs in the United States, how they tend to go a little bit more fantasy, I would think, and I guess they could because technically they're not medieval. It's Renaissance, which could be a bit more theatrical.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about how at one of the medieval festivals here, there's a guy that is typically dressed up like Luke Skywalker, and then there's a stormtrooper. And Death fits in though. He actually does look like Death, and he's an American. But the other two are Norwegian.
I thought you were talking about Carl for a second there.
No, that is Death, and he's a Norwegian Death. But meanwhile, we're a little Halloween surprise, but it's not quite Halloween. So he may look like a monk with a Norwegian sweater underneath, but he's not. You did show me your weapons.
Oh God.
Okay, so I'll show you my weapon. I'll show you my weapon. It's a needle binding needle, the bone one. That he is now. If you can guess what he is, he's not a monk, but he looks like a monk, and it's a lightsaber. He's a Jedi.
I haven't got the blade, but
yeah, they don't know. You're just being tame. You don't want to hit me with that thing. Oh, so he's a Jedi. That was a really good conversion Halloween costume. Okay, we can catch up.
Very cheap conversion, sort of.
So there you go. Let's see. Turin says, oh yeah, I read that one. Tauber number Jontis writes, render with cranberries, yummy. Oh, that would be good. I like cranberries. Peruta says, hello, dear people. And you gave him homework. He's prepared. Regina is here. Hello. She either got dressed up or she brought popcorn. I have higher expectations. She sent me an archaeology link. I have to show you that one.
Fair enough.
It was 51 minutes, and I was getting ready to drive to Gudvangen, so it's on my watch later list. But it is... I believe it is women in archaeology, so it'll be right up your alley, considering you were called a lady earlier. So sorry about that. Susan Youngman, hello, looking forward to today's story. Of course, we'll save that to a little bit towards the end so people have time to log in and say, oh crap, I forgot. Monk Boy is telling a story. Do you want to tell me what the story is, by the way?
I'm going to be trying to do the Skadi wedding to Njord.
Yeah.
I haven't read it for a long time, so I just hope I get it all right.
So if he gets it wrong, Peruta, fill him in on the details, and he'll either agree with you or he won't. So this will be good. Roxy's here with ducks. She's got pet ducks. It's so cute.
Fair enough.
They must be getting big now, though. Arlene Cross says, sorry, Greg, you're too pretty. Thank you for filling in with Carl. Or Carrie. Yeah, I'm Karin. but it looks like it. She just missed a letter, but I do that too.
Yep.
So you're pretty, but it's okay. He's shaved. We have to do that again. Just fix your hair. Shave his head. And don't show him that. I braided that. We're bringing out the claws of death on his hair. This evening will be something special on Instagram. Yeah, I saw Merrick sent me a message, so I'm assuming it's a picture or a video or something, so I can't wait. I suspect it might have something to do with spoons, so I put spoons in his story yesterday. He's been super productive. Julie Johnson says, yes, Rudolph is delicious with lingonberries.
Yep.
Sorry, yep, lingon and cranberries, both
Agreed.
really good. Oh, they're so good. Yes, I love Rudolph. Moose is good too when cooked right. No, you found out. I've gotten good at making that. Miriam says hello from Connecticut. Nell from Finland. Turin says you have reenactments, right? Yeah, we have reenactments. Yeah. Could you tell me how to pronounce brooches? This is a brooch. Well, it's a turtle brooch actually because the shape of it is like a turtle. This is my Viking toilet kit. Anyway, but brooch is what we say, at least in the United States. How do you pronounce that?
Brooch.
Brooch.
Yep.
England agrees. For once, we can speak the same language.
Yep.
Without confusing the rest of Europe.
Yep.
Miriam says the Renaissance festivals are happening. Are there Renaissance fairs happening in real life where ours was canceled? That's true. I'm kind of surprised they weren't Catholic. I like that one. She says brooches rhymes with roaches, coaches, etc.
They weren't Catholic. I think you meant weren't cancelled.
Weren't canceled. Did I say Catholic?
Yes, you did.
Oh, it's a Freudian slip. I'm so sorry. I'm recovering. I went Viking clearly, so can't have Catholics in that. Well, you're the monk. Was it Catholic or just Christianity that you were spreading?
Christianity, because at the time there was no divide between what was what. So you can't
then it
really
was
call it Catholic and Orthodox. It was just Christianity.
This is why you're the guide and I'm the textile worker. Oh, that was good. Let's see. But in Gudvangen, we are religiously and politically neutral. And that's my story, and we're sticking to it. Julie Miner says, hello. She recognizes the background. Yep, Julie's been eating here. She knows the food is really good. Julie says, or another Julie, there's two Julies at the same time. I wish we could do this on Zoom so that we could ask you details on knitting projects. Look up Ann Decker's, Anne-Marie Decker on Facebook. She has Zoom meetings Saturday night and Sunday day my time. They are needle binding. She does have Zoom. If you have not found that one, you should definitely find it. She's posting it usually in the same place as I'm posting, but you'll see it. It's a live. But she's like a textile. I don't know if she's actually a textile archaeologist, but in my opinion, she is a textile archaeologist because she will sit there and she will look at these old things, take microscopic pictures of it, and she knows way more than I do. And she's probably in the chat somewhere, or she will be soon. But that one is a good one to join, and it is live, and you do interactive, and she can show you. She's got one camera focused on her fingers and one focused on her, so you can see what she's doing and teaching. Let's see, did I catch up? Turin says, shaved and freshly braided, I hope. No, but soon. So we have to do that today. I think we have to do it today. Might take some time. We're gonna put on Carl's picking on an episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000, which unfortunately we realized that us who are twice Greg's age, remember, and he wasn't even born yet when Mystery Science Theater 3000 or MST 3K came out. So we will teach him. And we
understand this, I do not.
Understand. Oh, that's right. You've gone Jedi. He's with the Force. Roxy says, fixing up the duck shed so they can finally start sleeping outside. And she gets her front room back. Oh, that'll be fun. So we have more people. Stein Helger, I think. Hello. And fantastic for her dissertation, says so. And she's making her jumper. Roxy is. Okay, well, you can write where you're from. And another thing we like to do, I noticed, but I'm not going to go through and say it all the time. You can write the temperature and the weather because people like that. So here it's actually not been too bad today. A little bit rainy.
Drizzly.
We got beautiful. The clouds are falling down, which is cool. I think it's probably too dark to see it. But the thing that Yeah.
Go that way a bit.
There it is.
There's the cloud.
It looks like a water, but it's not. That's a little white fluff is a cloud. So they're hanging mid-low on the mountains. So it makes things look extra magical.
Hello.
And not snow. Hello, Andrew. Andrew G. Giovanni. Yay, I remember him from another thing. So this is what I did this week when I didn't get much needle binding done. All the yarn that you see in the picture, that was my stash. I decided that it wasn't just enough that I had to clean out my stash, everybody else has to as well. So I did a challenge. If I were to try to work up every little piece of stash yarn I have, it would take me at least 10 and 15, maybe 20 years. So I put up a goal up to the end of the year, but take a certain amount that you want to set. And I set my goal, it's 448 grams. I'm confusing Greg with text. I have to use up. Not very Viking, but it's very nice yarn. But this is what I've been working on, and it's super curly because of the stitch, which I can show closer in a minute. But it will lay flat. It's the Ulsa stitch, but if that makes sense to someone, or Coptic stitch.
I'm lost.
I know, it's so fun. But I will show you my stitch that I'm doing. And I shouldn't have done this one. But because I have made the goal that you have to use up a certain amount of yarn, I can't stop. I have to keep going. But this is really, really thick. It's supposed to be a neck warmer. If I can get it on with my glasses. So it will be a neck warmer. It's got a long ways to go. But it is going to be so thick, you could take quiche out of the oven with it and not burn yourself.
It's handy to have in the Freeman room.
Yep, I knew it was a.
By the way,
yeah?
Her kids are cooking quiche tonight.
My kids are going to cook the quiche tonight. You're teaching them. I
Yep.
like it. Oh, they love it. So it's really thick. This is a good stitch for thin yarn. I thought this would have been thin enough. I thought wrong. So, but I'm going to finish it. This is what it looks like if you can see it through all the grain. The reason it has this line effect is because this is going to be the hard part. Let's see if it's on there. Regardless of how you do your stitch, it's connected to this one plus this one. This is how you connect, not from the top, but one down sideways and then one from the top. So I connect it that way, then I make my stitch and it causes it to do that really cool effect. And you can go to, I will write it down, nulakantata.fi or en.nulakantata.fi and look at the Isla. Remember thin yarn. So you can try it. I noticed that the way she picks it. Yeah, I speak English. Getting dark up there. Okay.
This is just fun because I'm the dyslexic one. So
this is true. Oh God, and you fixed that. I thought it was cool though because Carl had something written up in Norwegian and he speaks new Norwegian and he wrote it in Bookmall and he gave it to me to correct read. Because I'm not a native Norwegian speaker, but I speak Bookmall, but I caught him on quite a few things. I'm quite happy about that. I wonder if we go further back, if we get more light. Nope, it just gets grainier. That's okay. Grainy is good when you can at least have a background. So, Greg, what have you done this week while I was in Vespi?
Sleep.
It's not good enough.
No, I did make 3 table tidies, for pens, pencils, and stuff like that.
Yeah, pen cups. Pen cups. Those are cool. But you made them out of leather.
Oh, yeah, leather ones. And each one was embossed with a different design. 2 were with Celtic designs. One, I will admit to using the Stark wolf from Game of Thrones, just because I wanted a wolf design on my personal one.
But I would,
wolves.
I would do that if it fits into theme a little bit, the style at least.
I mean, it looks like a wolf and it's on a leather thing, so that's fine. That's the way I go. And then I also made a sign for my business, wooden sign, for the which is going to be my shop symbol.
You're doing
type thing.
leatherworking and blacksmithing.
Yes.
He's got a forge being built on his property right now, and you've got walls and roof and floor now and doors.
Everything is done except from actually taking delivery of the forge.
Nice. So you're not going to get bored. Next Corona winter, actually our numbers are back up.
Yes.
They say we're almost as back as we were in March now. Yep. But it's more flattened. I don't know. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but
absolutely.
But this time we are going to be alone together. I think, because it's not going to go full on lockdown, quarantining like last time. But we'll be able to hang out together and do crafting. Yep. At a distance.
Yep.
So that will be good, because then that was the problem last time, is we were too isolated, way too isolated, and then people were going nuts at home, or they were going nuts in isolation here. Not me though. I'm fine. Maybe a little nuts.
I went very nuts.
Regina says, "Hi, Andrew, named twins." I was wondering about the Di Giovanni, if that was a relation there. The name twins, though, I don't know if that's for him or mine, but my twins are Alex and Cecilia. Julie Johnson says, "Major dyslexia here too, Greg. It makes my art better." That's a good way, because it's true, actually.
Yep.
That's actually, we have at least 3 cases of dyslexia in our staff, so it seems to be catching on. I think I'm missing out. Nah. But everyone that does it is, every one of you guys are extremely creative and smart, so kudos. Let's see. Yeah, Torrance says, "Super exciting, Greg." Julie says, "I have this image of Roxy sitting in the living room watching TV with ducks cuddling in her lap, needing clarification." This is true. She does. And if you join...
Sorry, carry on.
Say it. What did I say?
No, I was going to answer the next question.
Left. Yeah, you will. Yep. But if you join one of Anne-Marie Decker's Zoom chats, you'll see that's exactly what she does. She sits there with the ducks on her laps, and unless they're getting too big now.
I'm not left-handed for everything, but I am I'm left-handed for eating, and I am finding that some things are easier for me left-handed, but not everything.
I have to hold the knife in the right hand when I'm using the knife, and I have to hold the fork in the right hand when I'm not.
That is left-handed, so yeah.
Yeah. So I have to do that. I switch.
Oh, but I always have the fork in my right hand no matter what.
Yeah?
Always. And knife always in the left hand.
Oops, I forgot to increase.
And I found that I can actually write both-handed. So
really? Are you ambidextrous?
Yeah. In that sense, yes, but I can't do everything left-handed, but for writing I can. But that was because I taught myself.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I can needle bind with the left hand and the right hand. My left hand is going to be looser, and I'm getting better at it. But actually, ambidextrosity in needle binding is handy, because you can do one chain this way and one chain this way, and then have them cross, and then do the next. It's kind of cool. It's a neat little trick. So now they're writing where they are from, which is good, and the weather, but I noticed it gets too high. Yeah, Julie's already in Anne-Marie's group when she's checked now. Oh, so that's good. So showing up pretty good. I will hope to make it. Problem is I'm usually working when it's running on Sundays, and on Saturday nights, it's at like 2 a.m. my time. So either I'm not awake, or if I am awake, I'm probably not in the best shape to be online, either because I'm tired and insomniac, or maybe we decided to party. But we're overdue for a party. It's been a while. Runa's birthday's next weekend on Saturday too, so maybe we can celebrate that again, because we forgot to celebrate all the other birthdays, like mine and Virginia and Carl's, and Tufus. Okay.
Yes.
So what are you going to be doing this next week?
Next week, I've got a couple of leatherwork projects. I'm hoping to finish off the first knives that I've made.
Oh, are you doing sheaths or the whole knife?
This is the handle for a whole knife blade and everything. Cool. So made it start to finish. What are
you making the handle with?
I've got some bog oak, so I'm going to be using that. So it's 4,000-year-old oak wood.
Don't mess it up.
No, I've got lots of it, but I still don't want to mess it up.
No.
And some antler from reindeer antler, and
I love those.
Yeah,
the handles when they're made of the reindeer antler handles. The one Albert has is really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
You
That
get
is
to go
cool.
back like 3 or 4 weeks to see that, but
Yep,
he comes in at the
absolutely.
end. I'm sorry, you were saying you're going to do what else are you doing? You were going to do the handles.
Several leather work projects as well.
I've commissioned a tray for you.
Yes.
To put all the office supplies in.
Yep.
Like the stapler and the tape.
Luckily, we have leather for business specifically, so I don't have to use my own leather.
Are you thinking of making maybe those pen cups for the shop?
Yes, definitely.
Which is still not online, but it's still in the wish, by the way, to do that. But you could always send a message to, I can put my email and forward it. With web shop inquiries, I can forward them to the right person. Because we've got lots of handmade stuff in there too, but if there's something specific you want done, you can actually do things on order.
Absolutely.
You can.
Absolutely.
You made pouches.
Yep, pouches,
to wear around
sheaths.
You did
all
tankards.
sorts of tankards. Still do the tankards.
You made those, and you're making needle binding.
Needle binding
needle
holders. Yes, absolutely.
Those are really cool.
Bracelets.
Oh yeah.
Tunics.
So this looks really good in this light. This is my bracelet, and it says Karin and staff in runes. In a better lit situation, you could see it.
Yep.
We look kind of misty here, though, or mysterious. You've also made little boxes, little round circular boxes with lids.
Little boxes
to put stuff in.
Oh, I've made all kinds of different things. Yeah, I can't even remember everything I've made now. Sheaths for swords. So
yeah, that's
ones.
a big one. Yeah, you made one for Heidi, I think.
Yep, I'm still making it because but I'm still making it. I mean, it's made. I just need to emboss it.
Yeah. So. The village is closed for the winter. We opted to do that due to lack of tourists. We have basically only Norway here this year, and most of Norway is working right now. But you can book for groups. If you're coming in with a group and you want to visit, you can send a message to, let's see, I think it's on Viking Valley now, booking groups, SOLG, which is sale at Lost, I don't know. Because we'll set up groups, I'm sure. And then we will open sometime in the spring and we'll let you know, but we're still going to we're still gathering every week to make things for the shop or during the week. So that will be fun. We didn't want to close, but it's a Corona winter and there's just not enough Norwegians that are not working right now to, or going to school, for example, to come out. So it will be, I'm looking forward to back when it'd be interesting too, because we had so many cruise ships and tour buses, but both of them can't come in right now. Normally we'd be getting people from Brazil and South Africa and Australia because they're in South America because they're on vacation. This is their summer, or it's just starting. Let's see. 24 and sunny in Duluth. Have to cheer when I saw Duluth had snowstorm.
Oh, really?
They got 15 centimeters the other day. I got my whole Facebook feed was filled with pictures of the snowstorm in Duluth, and I'm thinking, oh, I want snow. Maybe just not on the road while I'm driving, though. And let's see if there's anything else I missed here. Oh, by the way, if you have Viking history questions, stump him.
She likes throwing me under the bus.
Well, yeah. It's either that or it's 100% needle binding. And I was going to bring some books and review them. Forgot them at home, so I will have to bring them next week. But there's some pretty good ones, though. My favorites, I can actually write that out. Mary. And pick sideways, so I have to do this. Sonnens with one needle. I should write that in big letters. And Mary, I think is her. Anyway, that one is a really good book. Another one is Nalbinding. That should be capitalist, but that's okay. Ulrika. I think I spelled that wrong. And it's not S's, it's that B. How do you do that? Oh, there, I did it. those two are extremely good books. The second one is more history. The first one with one needle that does, she has a bunch of different starts in there, but one of them is what she calls the knot start, and that's the same way I start my needle binding. So that's a really good book, and she's got some good patterns. But those ones I will bring and show next week.
Uh-huh.
Do you think there will be a Christmas market this year? Corona's not allowing a Christmas market for most places this year. There are some. I saw that Lisa Nilsson is doing a digital one.
Yeah.
You can check her out too on Instagram. Lisa Nilsson. She makes beads, glass beads, lots of Viking beads and things too. But she is actually having some sort of an online. I don't know how they're going to do it though. Online
I have no
Christmas
idea.
bar. She asked if I wanted to join, but I didn't have enough produced for that. Most of my stuff is in the store already. Let's see where else. Greg, can you make a Zweihander and Lawns Connect scabbard?
I might
friend is
be
looking for
able
someone who
to.
can
I'd
make
have
some.
to. I'd have to look into doing it because I haven't made them for that types yet. But I can have a look into it and see whether I can think that I can do something for them.
Send him, if you look further up
Yep.
the feed, you'll find his Instagram, so you can send him a picture maybe.
Yep. Absolutely, that would be awesome.
Because if we're closed for the winter, you're going to need something to do.
Yep.
And he's embossing them too, which is awesome. Yes, I will definitely bring the books, Miriam. There was at least 7 of them, I think, or some of them were PDFs from internet. Hotels in Salzburg are closing January through March, per my hotel manager friend there. Yeah, that makes sense. Beautiful city, by the way, Salzburg. Puppy loves the snow, says Drea. They're talking to each other, which is good. So we are at 32 minutes. I want you to tell me about Viking society, the class system.
The class system?
Yep.
Okay.
I would be a crafter or a tradesman.
Yes, you would be, which would put you in the middle class of the Viking society.
Middle class.
So I'll start with telling a little bit about the lowest of the classes, the Trells. Now, Vikings are not allowed to take other Vikings, most of the time at least, as Trell. There are some weird exceptions where someone from Sweden has taken someone from Norway or someone from Denmark has taken someone. But generally speaking, they're not allowed to take each other as Trells.
Trells are slaves.
Trells are the slaves.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, it was somewhat better to be a Trell to a Viking than it would have been a slave to another society such as like the Romans, because they actually have some degree of, if you will, freedom. That's not quite the right word, but they are allowed to have crafts, or they're allowed to do things on their own if they wish to do so when they're not being ordered to do other things. This means that they can actually earn money, which means that within a reasonable amount of time, they might be able to buy their freedom. And if they were able to buy their freedom, then they would have often remained in the Viking countries, because by remaining here, they could never be taken as a Thrall again. So that's one reason for staying. The other reason is that everybody, or almost everybody in the Viking society, actually has not only a right, but an obligation to vote in the Ting system. And this is where you come into the middle class of the Viking society, the Carl. And the Carls are everyone from being extremely poor to the most wealthy in society. You could go up even further to being a Jarl, but they are a little bit more powerful than a chieftain, and I'll come to them later on.
Jarl is an earl, isn't it?
Basically, yes. But there is a little bit complex with them, but yes.
Okay.
Basically.
I wasn't sure if that was a translation thing. Okay.
It has a similar sort of ring later on, but they start off slightly differently. So you actually find that Carls could be very poor, but they could also be very wealthy. And every single man in the society was allowed to vote in their Ting system. Women, unfortunately, were not normally allowed to vote. This is one area where the Vikings were not very equal. However, if a woman is married and their husband is away when the vote happens, then she's allowed to vote in his name. And if he were to die, then she inherits his vote so long as she never remarries. So you do get women in very, very high places. And just because it means that you can never remarry, it doesn't mean that you can't have a companionship, shall we say, and so on and so forth. And then the highest of the society were the Jarl originally. And they actually started off as basically petty kings. So they would rule vast areas of land and would often go to war with one another to take each other's land, etc., etc., etc. And this continues until you get the first king of Norway, King Harald Hårfagre. And when he becomes king, he gets rid of most of the Jarl, and then he appoints just 3 of his most important and influential friends in the position of a Jarl. Now they are more like earls under his direct command, and they make sure that other areas in the country, which would take a long time for the king to go from place to place, are actually under his control at all times. So if a rebellion starts up somewhere else, then he doesn't have to go all the way there because he knows one of his Jarl who live closer by can send his army to sort things out. So that's the classes of the Viking society.
I like that one. What are you then? Are you middle class? Today you're kind of monkish. Jedi.
If I'm a monk, then probably Trell, because I'm English, I'm a monk, and I'm in Viking world.
If this was the Vikings TV series, HBO Vikings, you'd be a bed warmer.
Yeah, maybe.
Athelstan was.
I haven't seen anything past the first season of Vikings, so
I think he was either he was a bed warmer or you got another. It'll be fun. So you.
All I know is I can read. So
Greg
Vikings
the
can't
bed warming monk. And if you are wearing your silk.
Oh, if I was wearing silk, I'd be at least a chieftain.
Yeah, because you have a lot of different outfits, but most of them are blues and purples and.
This is also because in the other guys, I'm warrior Viking, ergo quite high in society because I've survived long enough to actually be a warrior. So,
but you're not in the Varangian Guard because that would be showing off your wealth.
That would also probably mean that I've done something very, very bad and gotten outlawed from Scandinavia.
There you go.
Often, not always, but
not
often.
Always, just often. There was it's a question up here, but there was another one about the class though first. Where was it? My Viking family ancestors were farmers in Sweden in the 1800s, and that was the lowest class. So was my family in Poland. My family comes from Poland, obviously, as you can hear. I'm not Norwegian, I'm American. But yeah, they also were farmers, and I think there were 1 million kids. And 4 of them came over. Well, 3 of them plus one husband came over from Poland, and the rest of them had to stay. So I'm thinking farming was pretty honorable work, except for that you had to give how much to taxes?
I don't remember the exact amount, but I know it was quite considerable.
Yeah. Let's see if there was more. The History Channel. Yeah, it's not HBO, it's on the History Channel. That's the only. I like the Vikings TV series, I really do, but the fact that they put it on the History Channel. And one of our favorite things to point out is that they are rowing the boat backwards. We have a couple of people here that have 3 or 4 people that have worked on the Vikings TV series. 2 of them one is from Latvia, one is from Poland. One of them is originally from Norway, but living in Northern Ireland. Or is it
Southern?
Maybe Southern Ireland.
I think.
I probably just insulted them anyway, but they were working on it. But 2 of them at least were working on the boat, and they were all trying to tell them that the History Channel actually owns that one that they wrote. They did realize they were rowing it backwards. See you, Julie. You will catch the story later, though. It'll be on there. I'm giving him about another 5 minutes before I let him loose. Andreas is my great-great-grandpa was not the oldest son, so he did not inherit the farm. He came to the United States to farm. Oh, that was probably a good way to do it. Meanwhile, he probably got more land in the United States, especially Minnesota. Minnesota's a young state. Up here, she asks, though, Viking-wise, women, vulva, valor, title, and anything about them.
This I will have to do a little bit more research into because I've learned a lot of what I know from Carl, but I want to do a little bit more reading up onto it myself first before I say anything too much. But next week.
I have that one saved for next week. Yep. That was good. You had another homework assignment. It was about the Moscow routes?
Yeah, the Moscow routes. Basically, Moscow wasn't actually on the routes at the time because it wasn't the capital at the time. They went to Rus instead.
RUS, yeah.
Yeah, so this is why they didn't go to Moscow so much. There was less that they needed to do trading-wise to go there. So, ergo, it wasn't actually on the trading routes at that time.
Ah.
That came along a little bit later.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how far.
I fact-checked this with Carl, by the way.
Yeah, if Carl says it's true, then it might as well be on Wikipedia at
Yep.
least. Andrea says, my puppy's
Better
name
than
is
Wikipedia.
Zweihander, Zwei for short. This is kind of fun. My raid leader in World of Warcraft, yes, I am a geek, was named Zweihander. I haven't played since I got pregnant because who has time for gaming anymore when you have twins? Anyway, but his name was Zweihander too. And we called him Zwei for short too. There we go. We're like twins now because three of us have a Zweihander connection. Although one of them is actually a
That makes you
Zweihander.
triplets.
It makes us triplets. Yeah, it is true. And he's the dyslexic one. No, it would be. The Mummies and Elizabeth Barber in it as well. Oh, I'm reading the Mummies of really good, really great color photos and a lot of textiles. Oh, that sounds like something we need to get Carl on because he likes. Well,
Yeah.
that's Egypt, but he's
Screenshot.
he's huge into Romans. Yes, definitely. Screenshot. Alder cover. I have his Insta. Don't worry about that. I'll contact my friend. That must be somebody who's going to send you then. Julie says, we read that. Drea loves your stories. I added love, not like, because I thought you needed to use a stronger word. Oh, there she goes. She corrects. Tabernae Virgantis, there is some enlisting about the Beforeigners in the show on Facebook, speaking about Viking and TV. This is true. Beforeigners is a Norwegian TV show, I think. Did they ever translate that in? I'll write that one down. Before. It's well, I'll just write Beforeigners. Anyway, but basically it's before and foreigners in one word. And it's about people who come, somehow they step into a portal of some sort, could be out in the water or whatever, and they just zap and they've gone 1,000 years into the future, but they're different. Some come from the Cave Age, Stone Age, some come from
Viking Age, Mongols.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. There was a lot of different ones. I haven't seen this series myself, but I really
No,
want
I've only
to.
watched the one season, and it's in Norwegian, so which means I had to up the volume and pay attention to it, and sometimes even watch it translated because they are trying.
Have they done it translated?
No, well, translated from the language they're trying to speak. They put the Vikings in this Old Norse, and then they'll put the text in Bookmall underneath. But some of the dialects can get a little tricky to. But that one's got a lot of information, so I kind of have to pay. I can't needle bind and watch it. It's but it's actually a really good one. I do need to watch it again though to catch more detail. But it's an interesting concept anyway. What if you could take a Viking out from today and put it, or from them and put it into today? Of course, pre-pandemic today. Although one slightly feminine issue that really struck a nerve with some people is when the Viking women came. When Viking woman came over into this time, she is here long enough to at least have one feminine cycle. What did she use to not make a mess? It was a sort of moss. And that had some people going nuts because apparently she picked the wrong moss. Something to look forward to. Drea says, I can respect wanting to get ducks in a row for stories. Yeah, that's good. Well, we need to have something for you to look forward to next week, too. It's going to be a long winter, and it's getting dark. As you can see, it's completely dark out now. What am I missing here? Okay, but we are at 44 minutes. Oh, yeah, I have a scary story. You too, Midge, with Halloween drawings near. Do you have any scary stories? Oh, this one we do, and I do want to get Carl for this one, but if Carl doesn't want to do it next week, you are.
Okay.
How do you spell this one? Did I spell it right? Durgars? Durgir? How do you...
You're talking to the dyslexic one here now?
No, but what's it called? Durgar or Durgir? The Viking zombie kind of thing.
Oh,
Durgir?
no, hang on. Draugr.
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 Then it's Draugr or Draugr.
Yeah, something like that.
Draugr. Anyway, he was suggesting we should talk about that one
Yep,
for Halloween.
absolutely.
Because it is probably, you can look it up a little bit on Wikipedia and take a little sneak peek anyway. This is not something for the textile worker to discuss, but you maybe can give a little hint about the Draugr, or it is exactly 15 minutes to the end of the hour and you can go straight into your story.
I can go straight into the story
Go
in a
straight into
moment,
the story.
but
And then we'll
I
save
will
the
just
Draugr for
mention,
next.
yeah, Draugr. Think zombie type things. That's all I'll say with Draugrs. So,
Sorry.
I'm getting worried now.
Story time. Story time.
So last week I was requested to tell the story of Skardi's wedding. So, as almost all stories, I've been trying to work out which stories do not start with Loki, but so far I've come to a blank. So, as with almost all stories, this actually starts with the Loki causing problems. This time, not problems for the gods, but rather problems for the giants. Because he, on a previous kind of mission from both the gods and from the giants, who were trying to trick the gods into giving up their immortality, a particular giant manages to kidnap Eden, and Loki has to get her back. And so when he gets her back, the giant turns himself into an eagle and actually chases after Loki to try and get Eden back from her. And this results in the gods, when he gets close by, killing the giant after Loki. Of course, this actually means that Loki could be done for having a blood debt against, or a blood feud against, any living relatives of this particular giant. And one of the living relatives, in fact the only one that is known specifically, was his daughter Skardi. And so Skardi comes to Asgard demanding her pound of flesh, if you will. And the gods, for once, actually stand up for Loki and don't want him to have to be killed for the death of her father. And so instead, they decide that they are going to offer her recompense. Now, there are many different types of recompenses mentioned in the myths, and one of them is actually paying the weight in gold of the person who was killed. But this particular time, the gods instead offer Skardi to be married into the family of the gods. And so Loki is quite happy with this, obviously, because it means that he probably won't be killed for this. And Skardi is happy, but asks whether she can pick any god. And not thinking about this, the gods agree, so she immediately says that she wants to marry Balder. Of course, Balder goes white as a sheet when he hears that he has been selected. And he goes off to his mother and says that he doesn't want to marry her. And this results in the gods having to work out a way to renege on their deal. And so they say to Skardi that, yes, she will be allowed to marry Balder, but only if she can pick him out from a lineup of men, and only then if she can only look at their feet. And so all of the gods line up, or all of the single male gods line up, and they are covered so that nobody can actually see who it is.
It's like The Bachelorette.
Yes,
yeah.
Very similar to that.
Sorry.
And so Skardi has to go along and has to choose, just by looking at their feet, which one is Balder. And whichever she picks, bear in mind, she will be marrying no matter what. And she's going along and she's going, ew, those aren't very nice. Oh my God, those are hairy. Those smell awful.
Ingrown toenails.
Yeah, exactly. And then she comes to the most perfect, most beautiful pair of feet she has ever seen. And she's like, yep, that's him. That's Balder. I'm going to marry that one. And the gods say, you sure? Yes, that's Balder. Take away the veil. Let me see him. They take it away, and it's not Balder. And instead, it's Frey and Freya's father, Njord, the old man at the sea. And as a fisherman, he spends a lot of his time standing in the water. And so, of course, his feet are always cleaned and very nice and tidy looking. And Skadi is appalled by this and not at all satisfied with the outcome. And so she still wants to get her pound of flesh from Loki, even though she will now be marrying Njord no matter what. And Loki says, well, come on, Skadi, isn't there anything I can do to loosen your heart a bit, melt your heart so that I don't have to give you my life for recompense for your father? And she says, only by making me laugh will you actually manage to save your life. Well, Loki says, deal. He's a very good jokester, remember. So he thinks that he's got this in the bag. Anyway, he tries everything he can think of and nothing seems to be working. And he's getting more and more stressed. And then eventually he thinks to himself, well, maybe I can do this one last thing. Maybe this will make her laugh. And so he says, well, one of these days I was going from Asgard down to Midgard, and I was trying to take this goat with me, but I was also trying to take this basket of apples with me. And here's this goat, and here's the basket of apples. And I'm trying to lead the goat, but the goat's lead, every time he tries to get away, I lose the apples. And every time I try and bring the goat closer, he starts eating the apples out of the basket. And I just couldn't work out how I was going to get the goat down and this basket of apples. I needed something about this long that I could tie the goat to so that I could, not have to worry about him so much, not worry about getting jerked. But there is nothing around that is about this long. Hang on, maybe. So then he ties a knot around certain areas. And he's doing this in front of Skadi, and he says, right, now, the goat is tied and secured, and so I don't have to, I don't have to, And every time the goat starts to move, he's pulling on Loki. And eventually, Skadi is laughing her head off at watching Loki's pain and torment. And this is one of the last things that, one of the last times that Loki actually sees her smile until many, many years later when he is getting punished for his deeds in regards to the death of Balder. Anyway, this is how Skadi ends up married to Njord, but unfortunately, like with so many different romances in mythology, this does not work out particularly well because Njord and Skadi cannot agree upon where to live. Njord, as the old man of the sea, absolutely loves living near to the oceans and cannot bear to be away from them. So at first they try living down near the oceans. But one day Skadi says to him, I cannot abide the screaming of the seagulls and the crashing of the waves. I cannot live here anymore. And so Njord agrees to try living up in the mountains where Skadi is from and tries to actually survive with her up there. But he in turn says, Skadi, I cannot abide this. The screaming of the winds through the mountains and the howlings of the wolves, not to mention the cold that makes me ache all over. And so they agree to live 6 months in one place and 6 months in the other. But this falls apart very, very quickly. And they end up living separated for the rest of time. And so this is the story of Skadi and her marriage to Njord.
So now they're living separate lives.
Yes.
But Njord.
Mm-hmm.
The god Njord.
Njord is also the patron to this particular valley because, first of all, Njardarheimr, the village here, is named after Njord. They have just changed the O in Njord to A for Njard. And this way he is managing to honor the gods while at the same time not calling it exactly the same as Njord, which could be offensive to him. And the reason they might have done this in the Viking Age is that they didn't want, while traveling, to have a problem with the god trying to drown you while you were at sea. There were lots of places in Norway where places were named after gods. Many of these places have been renamed since, but there are a few others that have survived to this time. The valley we're in was not named after the god, but the Nera Fjord, as we call it today, was originally called the Njarda Fjord. And that is why we have chosen to use Njardaheim for our village. And it all is dating back to Njord. So this is why we have this.
I should type that, the names, so you can see them.
Yes.
The name of Viking Valley village is Njardarheimer. Njardarheimer. The name of the fjord we're located, I can't type, we are located in, is the Sung Fjord, no, in the Njardarheimer Fjord.
We're in the Nera Fjord, which is part of the Sonja Fjord.
Yeah, that's right. Njardarheimer Fjord, which is part of the Sung og Fjordane Fjord. Did I get that right?
It's Sonja Fjord. It's not
Sonja?
Sognefjord. No. Sognefjord county, but Sonja Fjord total.
Sonja Fjord total. Got it. We need to get that one right. There we go. Greg is not just a guide for Viking Valley. He guides the whole flipping area. So he's a good one. So we have, I forgot we started a little early, so we have a little under 10 minutes left. If we go by 7 o'clock, we have now 4 minutes. Yeah, that's about right. Maybe we did start on time. Anyway, so we see, yes, we need scary stories for Halloween.
Yep.
Can you think of a good one? Or if we can, we have to see if we can get Carl to actually sit in front of the YouTube
We
thing.
need Carl for the scary story.
I think we could.
I know of the Draugr, and I know a couple of stories, but not complete enough.
Carl kind of looks like a Draugr.
He is a Draugr.
He is a Draugr. he's like
Songfjord, Sonja Fjord.
Crypt keeper. Songfjord, but it's called the SOGN. Yeah, Sogne, I think. Sognefjord.
I'm going to look it up because I can't remember.
I just know Sognefjord, but that's the county, I think.
Yeah, that's the county. Sognefjordane County. Sonja Fjord is the fjord itself.
Thank you, Swy Mama, and the twin mom, and the story guy. The most wonderful hour of the week. That is so good to hear. Because I know we're gonna miss Virginia. We haven't seen her in the last couple of weeks, and then it turns out due to work schedule. But I think he's doing a good job filling in. We just have to think of our clever background. So next week we will be on. It'll be Saturday next week. I can write that. Saturday as well next week, which is Halloween, isn't it?
I think so.
I think it's the 31st next week.
I think 31st is Saturday, unless I'm.
Yeah, it has to be on Saturday next week because I won't be here early enough on Friday.
Yep, 31st Saturday.
That's Runa's birthday. So you have to tell Runa happy birthday. And
can we trick him?
We could trick him and try to get him to come out. It's your house. And then we'll go from your house, and Carl will be there. And if we can't get him to tell the story of the Draugr, you have to be ready to step in. So
that's fine. I will be learning this.
And we could just make the camera go on him long enough for you to see what a Draugr actually looks like, because it looks just like Carl.
Well, best way of doing this is I tell the story and the camera just points at Carl.
I like it. Don't tell Carl.
Oh, time changing today. Thank you very much. I didn't realize that.
Is the time changing? Where? Did you see? And don't forget, today is the time change day. Oh, in Europe. Is that right?
I don't know.
Is it fall back? Yeah. The clocks, I'm so used to it doing automatically on my... Okay, so daylight savings time. And it usually is 1 week ahead or behind of USA. Something to keep in mind. So if it's changing for us today, we could just sleep 1 hour more. Wow. Tell the rooster that we can sleep longer. Tell the rooster. He keeps waking us up. Okay, so ends tonight and hopefully forever. People, really, in Finland, they would want daylight savings time to end. California's wanted to end. And actually, being up here in Norway, you can see how dark it is.
They're actually trying to end it here as well.
Really?
Yep.
Because we get so much more daylight when we switch the clocks. Is why I kind of like it. But it's a debate. We are going to remain politically, religiously, and daylight savings neutral. No, I'm not very good at debates. Anyway, okay, yeah, but one thing, it'll come on a YouTube notification. I usually put it up on Friday. It'll be sometime on Saturday, but when you click on if you subscribe, if you thumb up, if you like, I keep forgetting to say that anyway, but if you subscribe to the YouTube and turn on your notifications, as soon as it gets created, you will get it with your time, and it'll actually just let you know when it goes live, and then you won't miss it, because it's going to be Halloween fun.
Mm-hmm.
Should we get dressed up for Halloween? I won't have the kids with me that week, and they'll be going with. You're a Jedi. I'm a Viking. I actually did wear makeup, but you can't tell. But that will be good, and we'll be at your grill house, so it will not be in Viking Valley, Gudvangen, but we'll be inside the TARDIS.
Yes.
With Viking decoration and stuff on it. It's quite cool. And then we have some stories that we will tell. What did we decide on now?
Draugr.
The Draugr, and then you had some other homework assignments here. One was about the vulva.
Yes.
And I think we might have had, yeah. Are we telling the story of the Draugr, or is that a story, or is that a topic?
I think that's a story/topic. It could be a combination.
You might need a backup story too.
Yeah, I can find a backup story.
Something Halloween-y. That will be fun. Fall back, spring forward. Yep, that's what we said too. And yeah, was to when to set the clocks anyway. You fall back, so you set it back in the fall, and then you spring forward. Yep, that's what we've learned too in Minnesota. We're exactly at 1 hour now, 7 o'clock in Norway, with no light. So we're gonna leave you. Say bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Thanks for playing with us. I'll
Have
tell
a good
Virginia
week.
said hi. And stream, yeah. Yeah.